Welcome to chapter 7. We are already in the third part where we're seeing tools and systems that are related to our development, our general development, and the ways that this more general development relates, of course, to better competition in tennis as well. A very basic concept is the one of psychotherapy. Psychotherapy is something that frightens many people because they connect it with clinical cases, but that's not the case. Psychotherapy has all these functionalities and all these characteristics. It is used in my school to bring awareness, to make the unconscious conscious, to unblock the energy flow in our bodies for growth, evolution, and most of all, for joy. When I say in the schools I'm into, in my schools, I'm referring to the many traditions I have received, both Western and Eastern, in relation to psychotherapy and other spiritual traditions anyway, that all together combine and have in their center this concept of psychotherapy. No real spiritual advancement is possible without psychotherapy for everyone, and it's not possible to evolve as a player of any sport if you have blocked energy, if you have issues troubling you, or what's the use in becoming a forced laborer, in becoming a forced athlete and compete and just increase your level of neurotic behavior and have an unbalanced life. But doing psychotherapy and addressing holistically all the parameters that affect your performance, you gain long-term participation, success in life and in sport. You become a leader, you get used to affecting others in a positive way, get used in being affected in a positive way. Central in our discussion is the idea also of meditation. Meditation is a concept that we constantly hear about, but it's not very clear what it consists of. So because we will use meditation in both technical advancement, I will explain how, and in psychotherapeutical activities, I will say some very brief points about meditation. Meditation has all these ingredients together. Relaxation is a very important part of meditation, and the relaxation technique we will be learning today is progressive relaxation. Progressive relaxation because it's affecting the whole body, mind, through the body. Okay, and athletes are more easily accustomed to it because it uses the bodily functions, so it's more easily understood by them. It also has the characteristic of acceptance. So when you meditate, you accept things as they are. You don't judge anything, you don't criticize anything, nothing is bad, nothing is good either. So you just have this feeling of acceptance. Just accept everything as they are. They are as they are, you are as you are. Now it's the time to just feel this acceptance for everything. Expansion is also a characteristic of meditation. Maybe I should note here that Tantra also means expansion, as yoga means connecting opposites. And expansion is a feeling also that you have. So you are within yourself when you do meditation, but you are not close to the environment. Actually, it's like you have an expanded awareness. It's like you feel the surrounding around you. So you're not like in inner trance, you're not disconnected. Okay, you are connected with yourself and with the environment. You are aware and present. you don't forget yourself, you don't sleep, you don't have your mind somewhere that is blocked by some idea or too much focused in anything. There is no excessive thinking. Okay, you just be there, be aware, be awake, be alert. Okay, not stressed, of course. And all this finally lead to contemplation. So meditation doesn't always involve contemplation. Contemplation always, of course, starts from meditation. Contemplation is, in spiritual terms, connecting with your real essence, with your real sense. It's, let's say, the state where everything makes sense, where you connect with your feelings, with yourself, you feel completely relaxed, but at the same time completely awakened in another level, refreshed, energetical, and so on. In our daily lives, we are not one, we have parts, and this has been addressed already since the antiquity, not only in classical Greece, of course, but everywhere in the world. So we can call these minds or realities. So we have the organic mind, that's the instinct or the automated responses. For example, the way you digest food, that's not something you think analytically. The way you react to a sudden stimulus, when you feel some sudden pain, the way your immune system works, everything like that. It's like there is an organic mind, and actually there are substrates, neurophysiological substrates that are dedicated for these works. There is the analytic mind as well that we use consciously, that has been overemphasized in Western science and in the Western civilization. It's very important because we make conscious decisions, we choose things, we discuss, we talk, okay. But analytic mind has nothing to do with our subconscious and unconscious, where all the learning takes place. As you already know, learning is a process that is invisible. You don't really see it. It happens in a subconscious or unconscious level, and it happens while you're resting, not while you're doing something. When you're doing something, you're not learning anything. The learning process begins when you go into meditation. This is why it's a crucial part of psychotherapy or skills learning. Or when you go to sleep, for example, you're offline. And then there's the symbolic mind. The symbolic mind is the mind, or the dream mind, is the mind of the unconscious or subconscious mind. It's something that we get disconnected from early on, and that's not something good. It's the way dreams work. So when we dream, we never see things that make sense analytically. We just see symbols. Now, what are symbols? There are universal symbols that we have been addicted in a positive way, we have been used to, and mean more or less the same thing for many people. And there are personal symbols, things that have a special meaning for us, and such symbols come from the way we grew up, okay. And this is another kind of mind or reality that we have to address if we want effective learning. If we want, we will see in the next section, next chapter, sports psychology, we will see motivations and similar concepts. We have to connect with our symbolic mind if we want to understand our consciousness better. This is psychotherapy is a very good way to connect with our symbolic mind, so we can understand better ourselves, understand better our motives, have more original, more pure motives and motivations, and know what we want in life, be more focused, know how to explain things that are happening to us, from us. Symbolic mind has a lot to do with knowing thyself. A note about meditation is that after any process, be it psychotherapeutical or relaxing or otherwise, or after a process of studying a motor skill, like I'm learning a skill now, I'm using the model for motor skills learning. So I'm practicing a new skill, or I'm perfecting a skill. You should, and that's not at all applied in practice, but you should let the athlete meditate after that. So I'm doing 5 minutes of something that's very intense, not intense physically, meditation is not used after physical work, okay, but if you have something that requires your focus and mental capacities and learning, you want to achieve learning in a technical level. So you have someone doing some shots and improving technique using some tools from the Distal Method toolkit, and afterwards, after 5 minutes of that or 10 minutes, maybe the athlete feels a little bit loaded mentally, you should do some minutes of relaxation. Okay, you should tell him, okay, now go sit, meditate for 2, 3, 4 minutes. That could be some kind of imagery. Imagery is not meditation, sports imagery, but of course, doing sports imagery, that is to play in their mind what they have learned, is even better than doing nothing. I think we are addressing some very important things in a very sketchy way. For example, you can't, if you develop this feeling, you will see that you can't try to learn something very seriously and then just let it go and do something else and forget about it and start laughing or chasing one another, I don't know what. You should dedicate some time after that in a meditative state, okay, letting the experience to sink into you. Now, in practice, what we are going to see today is some processes that we can use for many things. Okay, the first one is an EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique based process for both psychotherapy and performance improvement. We will see how. We will see a neuro-linguistic programming technique called anchors, progressive relaxation that may be implemented in many places also, and a Qigong. Qigong is very similar to yoga. It has some common elements, but it's a Chinese tradition. It's at least as big as the Indian tradition, which is yoga, and maybe it was an even bigger one, but the problem is when communists came, it destroyed everything that was spiritual, so it destroyed the Qigong practice as well. So now, whatever Qigong is practiced in China, it's void of spiritual implications or content. Anyway, the Qigong we're doing today doesn't have any spirituality in it. Okay, it's just for emotional balancing, and it's very nice. You can view it as a kind of somatic, physical psychotherapy. Okay, and that's its purpose. So the main program I have decided to give you is an enriched technique based on EFT that has elements from many traditions I have received, and it can be used to solve a problem, okay, or just it can be used very briefly to solve a problem on the spot, or as a more holistic psychotherapeutical activity that you can do in your home, and you can do it for a more extended period of time. So the steps it has are three basically. It's the tapping sequence, the EFT sequence, the emotional freedom technique sequence, a breathing technique that helps the movement of the energy, and it ends with meditation. That can be also be applied during a competition, or before competition. During competition is a bit difficult to do it, but you can do anchors during competition. That's very effective, and you can do it at home, okay, or in practice where you have more space and you can incorporate it. So the basic, let's say, recipe is EFT, breathing, and meditation. When there is enough time, or you have something to solve, you add before the sequence the negators, and after breathing you include some form of sound therapy. I don't really recommend music therapy because it uses the tempered music system, whereas, for example, ragas, the Indian music, uses both jazz and Pythagorean systems, and it changes depending on the effect. Tempered music is not the best music for music therapy, so just do some sound therapy, maybe some gong sounds or something like that, or qigong. So you could put after breathing one of these two exercises. Okay, this is to improve the flow of energy, or increase it, or stabilize it, or balance it. Okay, and then meditation. Okay, now we will see what are the negators, how to do EFT, how to do breathing. Okay, and of course all these three. So what are negators? Negators are plans you have, motives you have, ideas you have, beliefs you have, limiting beliefs you may have that limit you from reaching your full potential, wishes you have expressed, first of all, in the positive. So let's say that you want to improve your second serve, or just to win matches, or to become a better athlete. So you say this in a positive way. So for example, you say, I can improve second serves. This is a positive statement. Then it's the idea of automated writing. You don't think, you just write everything that comes into mind. So this positive sentence produces many negative thoughts. This is, let's say, like a noise in your head, and you start writing. I don't practice enough, I'm weak, I'm not talented, I don't like myself, nobody wants to see me playing second serves, my mother doesn't love me when I'm playing second serves, I'm fear that I will lose money. Anything, really anything. You can say anything negative here. Try to fill at least one page, not just 3, 4, or 5 negators, at least 20, 30 negators. At some point, as you're writing negators, automatically a positive idea will pop up in your mind that may be irrelevant with the first positive idea. That could be, in this instance, for example, I am beautiful. Okay, these two should be really simple phrases. Okay, otherwise your subconscious will get confused in the next stage. In tapping techniques, CFT, we repeat a phrase while tapping at some points on our body, therefore trying to communicate this information to our subconscious. So we have ended up in the previous process in a positive phrase after we did the negators. This is a positive phrase. So we will do the EFT sequence. We will repeat this phrase saying, for example, in relation to me being beautiful, I am relieved of every obstacle and trauma or injury in this life and any other. Now, when I say any other, I'm not referring to reincarnation. I'm just trying to generalize it in my subconscious as much as I can. It's symbolic, okay? So, this can be used, of course, in other cases where I have an injury or a trauma. So, you can say in relation to this injury, for example, to this problem, I'm relieved of every obstacle and trauma in this life and any other. But you can just say here the last positive phrase, use it in here, and try to get rid or get relieved of any obstacle that is affecting you in a negative way in relation to this specific phrase. One more note about the positive phrases and the negators. So I start with something that I think that I need, or something I think I want. This is the phrase I use. And imagine that this phrase is somewhere here, okay? But because I don't know my subconscious, the root of the problem is somewhere here. What I want to address is, okay, this is a symptom. It's okay to address that, but I really want to address the root of the problem, the cause. So, through the negators, I reach the root of the problem. So, when I do this process, I address the root and not just one symptom.